I'm your host, Eric Novak of the Wrestling Republic, and today I have a special guest. He is the young GOAT, Myron Reed.
Yes, sir. Ski. Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
What's up, man? Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Hey, man. I appreciate you having me. I had to come on and heat the podcast up.
Of course. Let's do it. Let's start. So tell me, what made you want to pursue pro wrestling?
Man, I've always just been a big fan of wrestling. Like since I was younger, like 2, 3, 4. Like my great grandmother got me into wrestling, and she was a big like The Rock fan and stuff like that, man. So like I came up liking The Rock and stuff like that. But like once I hit like 4 or 5. I was like, she had me super deep into the stuff, man. But unfortunately, she passed away when I was like 5, and from then, I had to keep doing it, man.
You honor the legacy. Honor the legacy.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So tell me, how was it training, getting ready for your first match, or even to find a school at the time?
For me, man, when I came into it, I knew I didn't have a lot of money, so I was like, whatever I can get. I always had a plan. I was like, whatever I can probably get as cheap as possible or free, just to learn how to run the ropes, do the basic stuff, so where I can get somewhere when I get some sort of cushion, to start training. And that's what I did. I went somewhere. I went to WWE and started training there, and it was free pretty much. A lot of the guys they're pretty much untrained backyarders, but they trained themselves. And that was good enough for me back then. So, like, that was right before OVW and all that other stuff. So,
awesome. All right. So, tell me, how was it getting ready for your first match? When you knew you were going to have your first match, and what were you feeling, during the time of it, like, about to happen?
Man, when I first started, like, I would get nervous, super nervous, but, like, the nerves wouldn't come from, like, just not being comfortable and stuff like that. The nerves would really always come from failing or messing up. Like, I used to hate that until it took me actually messing up a lot in wrestling to really build my confidence to know, like, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that first match for me, like, was super nerve-wracking. I was super nervous. I was like, man, I know I'm comfortable when I go out there, but, like, as soon as I'm, like, actually in there, I'm like, I can't mess up. I can't fuck up. So, you know how that goes.
Yeah, so tell me about it. Tell me, what were you wearing in your first match? Who were you versing? Where was it?
Man, my first ever match was a tag match. It was me and my homie Mickey Muscles. Mickey Midas now, but Muscles at the time. I was a manager of his for a while, bro. And I would wear these, like, dark blue Adidas with, like, tracksuit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, pants or whatever. I had my wrestling shoes and knee pads underneath, and I wore like the little elbow pads and the wrist tape. I didn't have any like real gear, but that was my look at first. And I think we wrestled a team called The System. It's Ray Waddell and Dakota France. Like I don't think a lot of people know about them, but they have their own little company, the Waddell brothers. That's where I started, and they pretty much put me out there and let me do my thing in front of a crowd. So like I'm always appreciative of them.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And tell me, when did it hit you that like you were doing big things when you had your big match? What was your first like real big match that made you really think like, damn, I'm this far in already?
I think for me it was probably the first time I ever wrestled AR Fox. Was like the time I was like, I'm fucking doing it big. I'm doing this shit big, man. I think this was at Rockstar. This was June of 2017. 2017, yeah. I was like, man, it's time. I'm doing big stuff now, man. I'm like, I was super excited about that. The match went really well too. So like, the rest was history, man. Like, I feel like you just working those guys, like that caliber of like people, like Fox. It don't matter who it is. It's just even have done more than you. You know what I mean? It's just gonna help you get better as a wrestler because you're learning from people that are better than you.
That's awesome. And speaking of AR Fox, name me a few other guys that you got in the ring with that like really changed your image in of pro wrestling, made you really look at it and be like, damn, this match is happening.
Yeah, I just wrestled Fred Yehi, dude, this past Sunday, man, and we beat the fuck out of each other. And it just that definitely, like, I think I really walked away last weekend with a lot. I feel like I learned a lot from wrestling. From that to working with Jerry, man, and that 4-way, that shit was awesome, bro. I'm on a high from that still.
Yeah, so talk to me. I just want to know, how was that match like? I was watching it live, but you were in it. So tell me how that was, having Aramis, and Tajiri in that match. You guys hit a whole spot, with high flying. Like, how do you guys have the energy to keep that up and keep going and top each other in that sense?
Well, the cool thing about MLW, bro, is like they signed the guys that have been doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I know that anybody that they put me in the ring with, I'm gonna, like, it's gonna be talented, because it takes a lot to be signed, man. Like, you have to be good. I feel like you have to be good, like, or you got to know somebody. You got to do something, to be signed. But like those guys like Aramis and Ares, bro. Like, I've wrestled with them in PWG and AAW and shit like that. Like, they're talented, bro. And I knew that from going into it. And I knew we were like, what I did know was Tajiri speaks Spanish, man. That shit's wild. That man speaks Spanish, bro. I'm like, I don't know shit. I was in that match like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't speak a lick of fucking Spanish. I speak a little Spanish, not like very little, like, but I'm not really good at Spanish, and definitely don't know anything else. So, you know what I mean? Like, I was the odd man out that match.
Even though you were the champion, you know what I mean? Everyone was looking for you, and
man.
You were the one odd man out. That's pretty funny. So talk to me about MLW. Since we're on the topic, how did that come up? How did you find it? When did the conversation happen? And how did the unit that you guys got, the Injustice, how did that form? Tell me about everything. Tell me about how it started.
Okay, so I remember 2018. I was living in Dayton, Ohio, and a lot of my like consider these guys brothers: Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Desmond Xavier, Wesley. They're in NXT now, but like, they were really like big brothers to me, and I looked up to those guys, and I felt like, I was always like, just like trying to, like, they were level up, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta level up with them. Like, they level up, I gotta level up with them. Like, that shit, and that really made me like the wrestler I am today, to where they were all getting signed by Impact, and I was like, I love them, but I don't want to be like, I want to be the different one. You know what I'm saying? I want to go. That. You know what I mean? Everybody that was like in Ohio with me, like all my friends and shit were going to, more like, we're trying to get signed by Impact. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm hearing, like, you hear stuff, but like, you don't know if people tell, like, oh, they probably think about signing, like, you don't know if that shit's real or not. So I got signed by it didn't happen like that, but I fucking hit up MLW or whatever, and I was like, I sent my resume and shit, and I was like, I'm gonna stay on their ass. I stayed on them for like a week. They messaged me back and were like, we know who you are. We're fans of your shit, and let's work some shit out. And from there, is like that's how that happened. And then I think it just started out with me having like matches where I was just hitting big shit in it. You remember the rope to rope cutter, like the ring to ring cutter, shit like that. I felt like I was just there doing big spots. I was like, it's time. Like, I feel like I need to really focus on being a character. I don't want to be just a guy that just, doesn't have anything but just the wrestling aspect of shit. Mm-hmm. And I want to be all around, well-rounded. I want to be able to sell fights and shit like that. So, like, me, Jordan, and Snoop, or Kodo, they put us together, and, like, it was, like, perfect, bro. It was like destiny, bro. Like, I was the guy that, like, they were all like, all right. For me, they were like, let's get better, let's get better, and let's try to work on our in-ring shit, like Myron. For me, it was like, let's try and work on promo shit, like Jordan. So everybody had that different thing that, like, we could all learn from each other. Like, Snoop was like just one of these guys that just he's so fucking good at selling. Yeah. And he's great at selling, and he looks really good, bro, like, in the ring. And we all were working to, like, one up each other, but, like, work together at the same time, because that's what you got to do. It's competition at the end of the day. And it made us all better, bro. And, I don't know what's going on now, but, it's still love, though. But, like, everything's going good. Like, from all the matches we've had together, Mexico, like, AAA. It's awesome, bro. Like, this shit's going great right now. For me though, with MLW, I'm just trying to get as good as I possibly can. Build the name, man. Build the name. So your boy got some leverage when it comes time to do what it do. You know what I mean, bro?
I believe you already got a lot of leverage, but you know what? If you feel like you got to do more and there's more for you to do, that's always great to hear. And
bro,
of course, and I can completely relate with you. You know, I was at the Melrose New York show back in 2019, I believe, of the Opera Cup. I believe it was, you guys, all of the Injustice versus King Mo, ACH. I think that was the match. My memory might be really wrong. I think that was the tag match, but I don't remember. But I remember, yeah, Snoop was selling the crowd. They were calling him Mickey Mouse because he had the two, it was amazing. Yeah, no, you guys definitely, each of you had your own quality. One was match, one was, mic, one was definitely feeling the crowd, and it was awesome. It was great to see you guys, and it's even cooler kind of to see, the band slowly break up. Everyone's doing their own thing, making their own waves, which is always, that's always great to see. It's always great to hear about.
Definitely.
Of course. So now, tell me what's next. What's your goals now? Now that you had a whole great title run, who knows if you want to end it there? Who knows if you want to go back and battle Tajiri in a 1-on-1? But what's next for you? What do you want to do now?
That's a good question, bro. Because like I've like went back and forth. Like you lose your belt. You like the first initial reaction is to try and go back and get what you lost. Mm-hmm. Especially it's a 4-way, and how you've seen how shit turned out. The people have not yet. They will.
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, bro. But also, it's like if it's gonna be anyone, why not be a legend, bro? Mm-hmm. So for me, I feel like I don't know yet, but I'm always trying to level up, bro. I want more of the spotlight. I want more bigger matches. Like I'm ready to wrestle the best wrestlers in the world. I want all the titles. I want the world title, bro.
Well, I feel like you gotta wait in line, and there's a lot of people that are looking for that title belt. So if you're patient enough, and you wanna run through the line, there's a chance you can do that too. So we have to see what happens with the world title belt. But I could definitely see you holding that belt very soon.
I appreciate that, bro. Okay. I feel the same way. You gotta manifest that stuff. You gotta say it, and then you gotta work.
Of course. So I did bring this up too when I saw you, and I brought up New Japan, about New Japan Strong. You brought up Impact. Now that I'm not gonna say the famous quote of the doors opening or whatever, but like now that companies are slowly more wanting to collaborate with each other, I heard a rumor that New Japan was maybe going to swing to MLW. There's possibilities. Again, things are rumors. Who knows? But who would you want to face in the roster of New Japan Strong? Because there's so many incredible people there.
Talented guys, like you said, and I want to wrestle all of their top talents. I want to wrestle all their guys. But you know who the top of the list is, man. Guys like Will. I mean, let's be real, bro. I feel like that, and like it's and something like that, bro. I just feel like that match is just like I need that match. That's a guy that you want to test yourself against. Like, how good are you really? Like, what I mean? Like, he's the guy I was watching when I first started. Him and Ricochet were blowing up when I first started. They were going crazy. Like, guys like they were smaller, bro. Like, this was our time then. Like, that was our time then, bro. It was blowing up for us. Like, because before then, they didn't give a fuck about the smaller guys. But they were doing their thing, and everybody was just trying to be like them. And it was dope. So, like, that match is definitely something that I need.
Yeah, I would love to see you versus Will. That'd definitely be something. Yeah. When you watched him versus Ricochet, who were you always more of a fan of? Was it him or was it Ricochet? It's always like a one-sided thing.
Bro, they're both like neck and neck when it comes to talent, bro. They're so talented. Like, but when I was watching when I was first starting, bro, I was more of a Ricochet fan, man. Like, it's I don't know, man. It's just I think it's a melanin thing, dog.
I get it, man. I get it. Listen, Ricochet definitely had his qualities. He was one of the first guys I watched.
Because you look at someone like Ricochet for me, and it looks like someone like me. You know what I'm saying? Like light skinned guy. Like I'm trying to get like in shape as big as him. I'm trying to do what he's doing. Like he's the guy that really like, you know, for someone like me that really gave us like. But for a kid in Britain though, you know what I mean? UK over there, they're like, fuck Ricochet. I'm you, bro. You know, Will Ospreay. Like you said, it's just, you know, wrestling is subjective.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to the fun questions. Tell me the smallest place you ever worked. Tell me the largest place you ever worked, and then tell me the strangest place. Tell me what haunted farm, what murder, you know, you almost died in this wrestling. Give me some scary ass story of a sketchy place you had to wrestle in.
Oh shit. Really, honestly, like when I first started, like it like the places we wrestled at were always like that to anybody that doesn't work there, but. Like when you first start, like you don't really think about it like that. Like you know that most of these places are probably fucking on it, but you're like, I'm doing my job. I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna go the fuck home. But like I've had scary situations where I've had in matches where like this past like Saturday I was wrestling this guy named Ghost Shadow, and dude, that was the first time I ever got knocked out in the match, bro. Like I took like a leg drop and out, gone. Woke up and crowd was clapping. Over. I'm like, wow, gone. Like for real. That happens in wrestling. Every wrestler that can tell you a moment where they got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, but it's something that happens. And for some people, you know, some wrestlers they get concussed a lot and shit like that. But on to the topic though. I was going off. I always do that. I talk too much.
Hey man, that's why we're here. We're here to talk.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, there's this venue IWA Mid-South used to run in. It was like the Memphis flea market. It was Memphis, Indiana. Like, it was like exit 16, bro. It was like literally that and like a gas station and nothing else. Like, it was like the building was like a what are those, I don't know. It was out in the country. It literally was just that building, and across the street was a freaking gas station and had McDonald's in it, and that was it.
All right.
Or Subway too. It had Subway and McDonald's in it, and literally, like there was really nothing else down there. But it was just fields and shit like that. But you know, wrestlers would be out there alone and stuff. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. I'm gonna keep my ass in the building. Mm-hmm. I've never ran into any scary moments like that in wrestling. I've been knocked out before. That happened like 2 weeks ago. That's probably the scariest shit that ever happened to me in wrestling. What else?
So the smallest ring and the largest ring, like, you know, just to go back to your roots, be like, damn, I worked at a you know, 3 people live event show, and now I'm working at you know, 3,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it'd probably be like one of the IWA Mid-South shows on a Thursday, bro. We was working with like 20, 30 people, man. But, you know, we was out there performing like it was 2,000. I think the biggest, though, is either MLW in Chicago, AAA. When we went to AAA, I believe it was probably like 5,000 people there. Damn. So, the biggest one.
How was it wrestling in AAA, actually? Because that's got to be like a different fan base. You know, I'm sure they loved pro wrestling just as much as, you know, everyone else, and maybe even more. But how was it for you, you know, going in there as, you know, kind of like a wild card in a sense?
I'm ready to do it again, man. The first time we did that shit, it was like March 13th of 2020. 2019. This is like right when COVID hit, like right when they were shutting everything down. So like I wasn't really worried about the match. I was worried about getting back home, because when we were going down there, they were telling us, they were like, y'all, like the shit might get shut down, like might not make it back home. So I'm freaking out. My girl already didn't, you know, she didn't bitch me out about, you know, wow. If you know that it's wrestling, if I get there, you know, I'm trapped, man. I'll make it back home. But, you know, I feel like, fuck, I'm nervous at the same time. But, like, I just felt like I didn't perform. It was a great match. I had a great, but I also felt like I didn't perform to my like full ability because I was so worried about getting back home. So I definitely got running back, and I think it's definitely in the works.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I hope to see you back in AAA. You know what I mean? That'd be dope. Who would you want to face in AAA though? There's so many amazing people.
Vikingo, man. Come on, man. Vikingo. I want that one-on freeway. It was a 6-man, but like I definitely want a one-on-one match.
Yeah, you know, I've seen a lot of Vikingo, super talented. We need to get him, you know, come here to the States. You know what I mean? MLW definitely. You know, that'd be another guy for MLW, Vikingo. That'd be something interesting.
Crazy, 100% happens.
All right, so you know, talking about PWG. You know, PWG is one of those historical independent shows. You know, they have the heart and soul of wrestling. Every, you know, event is memorable. Tell me about, you know, your first PWG, the first ever one.
When I got hit up about PWG, dude, I don't talk about people this, but when I got hit up about PWG, I was like, you know, like, hell yeah, I feel like Tiger Woods, man. Like after he makes a hell yeah. But like after that situation, it was literally like, okay, I had so many other shows I was worried about, so like it didn't slip my mind, but like I was working so hard to where I wasn't really thinking about it until the week of, and I purposely made sure I didn't have any other bookings that we're gonna like, I'll make sure I'm healthy for this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna hurt myself going into this. But when I got there, bro, the week leading up to it, I cried like a bitch. It took that week leading up to it, just like, damn, like I remember watching this shit before I even thought of actually being a wrestler. Like I used to love wrestling, but before I ever thought of actually being one, like I was watching the PWG fucking highlight videos and shit like that. So to me, it was like the utmost honor for me. So like I was just like, it brought me to tears. And then after the matches, I felt like the match was great. So after, on the way home, cry like a bitch again. I was like, oh my God, this shit really just happened. And then I had to wait like 2 months for them to drop the fucking the trailer finally. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm in one of these fucking videos, you know? That's the goal. And then once it happened, it's like, damn.
All right, so, you know, you just had an insane match recently. Like you said, it was 6-man, you know, tag 3-on-3. What's your dream match? If PWG said, hey, you know, we're doing a show, what would you want your dream match to be? It could be 6, it could be 8-man, it could be whatever. What would you want it to be? And who?
Well, the dream's always gonna be a one-on-one, man. That's the best way to shine. There's so many great guys that they bring in, bro. But like, I love to wrestle someone like Dante Martin one-on-one. I think that'd be a dope ass match. Shit, I'll wrestle anybody. Like, you know how it goes, man. Like, when you love what you do, like, you're optimistic about it. Like, you're excited for any opportunity. Whether it be someone that you know that's not that great, you're like, well, in this situation, I'm going to get better because I'm going to make someone else look better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, of course.
So, like, it's finding the good in everything. So, and I feel like, I just want to wrestle everybody. It's hard. It's so hard to just pick, like, you, and you. There's so many great guys right now. And he's just crazy, right?
Yeah. I also talked about a little bit of NXT. You know, what's your thoughts on it? You know, if that's something you're ever interested in going to, you know, with the talent that they have, the roster that they have.
Oh, man. Wrestling's crazy right now, bro. I watch so much wrestling, and I'm like, and you don't get tired of it because there's so many different looking people. There's so many talented people. And every show's different. WWE is completely different than fucking Impact or AEW or MLW. We all are so different. Or, you know, Ring of Honor, NWA, all that stuff. Like, every company has their different feel to it, and it just makes wrestling so great. Like, NXT, the rebrand is even better because I've, like, growing up, like, I was always a character fan, like, fan of the character, the look. Like, Jeff Hardy is my favorite wrestler. The look, he looks so different. Like, in NXT, I'm fucking right now, but NXT right now looks different, bro. Like, this, you remember the plain as black and gold? Like, it looks completely different than the characters they're bringing in. The guys are talented, just like everywhere else. So I'm rambling, bro.
No, I didn't want to take your opinion on the new rebrand. What you thought of
I
it.
thought it's definitely dope. Like, and I got a lot of friends that wrestle NXT, and they're killing.
Yeah, two of your friends just had an insane 8-man tag, if I'm not wrong, and destroyed it. Picked up a huge win. So yeah,
Absolutely.
no, I completely understand. So the independent wrestling scene is very different now than I believe. I mean, maybe when you started, it was also a lot more fluid. But now that it's so easy or quick to book matches, like I bet you're wrestling every weekend. I bet you have matches lined up all the way till next year at this point. But how is it with all these bookings? Did you ever think that it would ever be like this simple now? Because I know at one point you were probably the one calling for your own bookings. I'm sure everyone starts off like that. How does it feel now that you just get booking requests and it's not the other way around?
It's a good feeling, but it's also a bigger responsibility because when you first start out, like pretty much people that train you and stuff like that, pretty much like set up your first bookings and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, easy you just show up and do your thing. But like now it's like, if I'm not getting any bookings, I got to do something about it. I got to post a video or I got to post a picture and let people know that I'm available these dates. Like, it's a lot more work that goes into it, but I love every part of it.
Awesome. So yeah, so talk to me now about the best moment in your career so far. Tell me what moment really where time stood still. The absolute wrestling moment that you probably love out of all your time in wrestling so far.
Bro, this weekend with Tajiri was definitely one of those moments when after the entrance and everything, before that bell rang, I was like, this shit's crazy. This is not right. And that was one of the moments. PWG, the first PWG, definitely. That probably was number one. But like the Tajiri moment was definitely one of the moments. And the AR Fox moment, me wrestling AR Fox at Rockstar 2017 was definitely it. Oh, yeah. Have you heard of AAW in Chicago?
AAW, of course.
Yeah, bro. Like, before I got on in 2017, I would come to all the shows, like, because I was training with Dave and Jake and them and Sammy at the time. And, they were on every show. So I was going to all the shows, man. And I was just like, this is unreal, bro. I've never seen no wrestling like this before. Like, it's got, like, guys like ACH, AR Fox, Sammy Callahan.
Jake something.
Dude, bro, this is before something and all them. Like, this is before we even got on there. This is, like, this is when the indies were going stupid, bro. When John Morrison was on the indies still, like, the indies was stupid at this point. Like, and I was just like, if I can just get on the show, man. And 2017, I forgot, it was like June of 20. It was the same month I wrestled Fox at Rockstar. Like, a lot of shit was happening for me in that month, and that was a huge month for me. I remember that.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Do you still feel like the young guy in the locker room, or has that already passed you?
Yes and no. When I go to PWG and bigger shows, yes, I'm the young guy in the locker room. But when I'm going to any other show, most of the time, like, a lot of people are coming to me for advice and stuff like that. Like, I know that I'm big bro and little bro all at the same time.
That's the best. I feel it's the best, having it both ways at that point. I think it's probably the best feeling. So
because you're learning at the same time. So you're learning while you're teaching, and you're teaching while you're learning. Like,
Of course. Talk to me about the Young Go. Who created that? Was it the fans? Was it you? Who created the Young Go?
That was a me thing, man. I remember that when they first put Injustice together, it was like, we definitely, like, with your age and stuff, like, we definitely are considering you, like, you're like a young Muhammad Ali. Like, that's what we're going to go for. And when he started doing that, I was like, Muhammad Ali's the GOAT, so I'm the young GOAT. Awesome. So, and from like, it's just the fans really make you believe, you know what I'm saying, that, that, like, something like that's real. Like, you believe it at first, and then when you see that people are with it and they're like, yeah, you're like, yeah, like, this is real. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, was there a lot of pressure being the leader of the Injustice at that point? When them giving you, because I feel like that's your first real, team, right? That was your first responsibility of holding that faction, that brand. So how was that mentally and like, psychologically therapeutic for you to have, that responsibility of like, hey, if they fail, I'm failing them in the sense. It has to be a lot of pressure.
In general, like when you go in a situation like that, even if you're leader or not leader, it's a lot of pressure because in those situations you're literally fighting to be like I feel like in Injustice, like all of us like thought we were the leader. like Jordan Buzz, like, I'm the leader. Snoop, same thing, like he the leader. Like, and that's what I thought. That's what I like so much about it because like it made us all work hard. Like, nah, I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Like if we just and we knew that and we loved that. Like we would be working out together, everything. Like we loved that. Like we gonna get it together. We gonna kill everybody else and we'll go after each other after that. You know what I mean? That was the mindset.
All right, I get it, and everyone had their own interpretation on it, but like it definitely felt like in what MLW storyline, what they were looking for, they were giving you more of that, leading. But again, that's my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion on it, and it's cool to see everyone want to not top each other, but like just show what they could do and who could do what, which is really cool. So let's talk about the wave of Lio Rush coming in, taking what's yours, and you taking it back. So talk to me about that whole thing.
It was great, man, because when I lost, I felt like it I knew what they were doing with the situation. I felt like it just was a cool experience for me to work with someone that I looked up to. Like, he was definitely, like, before he got signed, man, when he was in Ring of Honor, I was like, bro, he's a young guy killing it. Like, if he can do it, any guy that I was, like, I was watching that I was like, he's doing it. If he can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, I got to work with those guys because I feel like those are the measuring sticks in wrestling. Like, Leo is definitely one of the guys. Like, if you can hang with Leo, you're a big deal, bro. Like, because Leo's a big deal, and that first match showed me that I can hang with him. So the second match, I felt like was great. Like, even better. I'm third one though, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I need a third one.
Everyone does. We're hoping Leo comes back. Leo's the type of guy who leaves, comes back. So hopefully he's got something else coming for MLW. No one ever knows what's going on at this point with wrestlers because now contracts are open for a lot of things. But how was it, because no one knew. I mean, as us fans, we didn't know what would happen. Obviously, you got your rematch. That can always mean something. What did it mean to you to win it back against Leo? Him being the champ, him having the high horse now, and then you taking it back, giving yourself, the fact that, you're resilient. You're not going to let him take what's yours. It's all basically in the character, and I'm only cutting you off. It's all basically in the character. Like, you and the character in wrestling are definitely two different people, or not. But in the sense, what would your character feel? What would be in the sense of the whole thing with Leo? Because that's a whole story. That's a whole thing that a lot of fans look at and they're like, man, this is gonna sell tickets. We gotta get the popcorn, and which people did.
Well, during the time, the young goat, I feel like he was. It was getting a lot of wins and shit like that, man. Big wins. Just beat Brian Pillman. He was talking all that shit, man. I felt like, I was
out. He's out. You threw him out of MLW, basically.
And literally, bro, after that, I was like, I want the best. Leo, I heard you got signed. You next. Like, I was feeling myself a little too much. And, going into the match, I wasn't prepared. Like I thought I was, and had to rebuild myself and get it back.
That's awesome. And how was it in general working with Leo? How was it like in the locker room? Did you guys talk? Because it's really cool when you're wrestling someone that you look up to in the sense, someone that started way before. I'm sure you guys must have had a great conversation, in the back.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Me and Leo are like really like real good friends. Like we talk all the time. But when it comes to this wrestling shit, like we'll punch each other in the face. You know how that goes, man. Like we even got music together on Spotify and everything. Like definitely a friend of mine. But like when it comes to gold and wrestling and money's on the line, we will punch each other in the face. This is how it goes.
Of course. Something I do want to talk about as well, since we're on MLW. MLW just signed a whole bunch of new names, a whole bunch of new victims for you to beat up now. Who are you most excited for? You got Case Navarro, you got Warhorse, Bobby Fish, there's a lot of guys. Alex Shelley just came in. I'm sure you're going crazy about that one.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest one for me is Alex Shelley. Back to just watching people when you're younger, man. Like him and Chris Sabin when I was like at a point like, you know how you have a little stretch where this guy's my favorite wrestler right now, and then like 6 months later, like this guy's my favorite. Like they were definitely my favorite tag team for a while. But he definitely him. Davey Richards, loved to wrestle him. Same with him. The Wolves, the American Wolves, and NXT man or in TNA. That shit was crazy. Like for me, like it's crazy that like all these guys are coming back working companies like this because like you would never think that like growing up you're watching Impact and you're like, holy shit, like getting on Impact is something in itself. So like for these guys like that you watch at WWE that are coming back to MLW, you know what I mean, and you're getting to wrestle these guys like this is. Like, it definitely dream come true, but, like, it just shows you that hard work pays off. Hold on, Dave. Who did I name right now?
Davey, Alex Shelley. You named a lot of the, TNA guys.
Every podcast Casey jumps on, bro, he's always mentioning my name, bro. Like,
yeah, that is true.
Like, you agree or not, bro?
No,
Like,
I watch. I agree. That's why I'm waiting for you to say something back. This is the platform.
Bro, he like a mosquito to me. Like, I'm just ready to stomp him out. I'm letting him live out his life because that's just a generous thing for me to do because I'm worried about my other things. But when our paths cross, man, I'm just going to stomp on him like a mosquito. On to the next.
No, I completely agree. I'm actually, I'm really excited, hopefully, to see, one day. And it's something that I thought would happen because they're talking about, who would, challenge you for the title. And I thought TJP is someone that, Unique have a banger. And I think he's had already a match, like, right after he left, the big league, the WWE, which was a really good match. He picked up a solid, again, picking up bodies, to taking names, you already took him out. So it's like, there's so many guys. Boku Dow is also like there's so many amazing guys in MLW that you still have to face. So it's really exciting to see that they're going after new guys while they still have so many names.
Well, there's so many guys in wrestling, man. You can't miss out on them. You can't miss out on the talented people like that. Like because in a heartbeat, someone else will pick them up.
Of course, and I want to talk about one of your buddies, Trey Miguel. Definitely someone that. I want to say has been overlooked, but hopefully not anymore with what Impact's doing with him. Got a big X Division, brand and title match, hopefully, coming his way. How do you feel about, what he's doing, how Impact is, treating their wrestlers in the sense?
I feel like, when people go through what they go through, like, I just feel like the real chosen ones, the hard workers, are going to get everything that they want in it. And I know that Trey works very hard. I know Trey's very talented. Right now, everybody, like, your ride up to the top is you're always going to have a roller coaster. And it's pretty much how you handle those situations when you're down. You know what I mean? Not even really down. I'm just feeling like, when you're not at your high. Like, for me now, I'm probably have to deal with that, too. Like, I had, like, 4 belts, like, a month ago. I'm down to 1.
Hey, man, you'll get it back. You'll get all that back. Yeah, I like what you're saying.
Absolutely. Like Michael Jordan, bro, in those situations when you win all those belts, like you lose a little bit of your hunger.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. Now that you did lose some belts, what belts are you looking for? Since the independent scene is so big, obviously you could say you want to get back the ones that you already held, but like I said, because there's so many amazing promotions. One promotion I would love to see you at is House of Glory. That those places like that are insane. Is there any place that you're following, you're definitely watching, you like them, and then you want to go there soon at one point? Or you've been there and you just want the title?
It's crazy because, like, House of Glory is definitely one of them. But I remember, there's so many companies, like, you've heard of Battle Club. Like, there's so many different companies I'd love to just go in there and take their belts because I know there's a lot of scrubs as the champions. I go in there and snatch the belt up and handle business, go back home. But before the pandemic, there were so many, like, I had a whole list of, like, companies I wanted to go to. I wasn't even thinking about winning the belt, like, they're big, but I was just trying to get on. Mm-hmm. Now I'm in the situation where a lot of those shows I'm actually working, I'm on. Now, for me, it's just winning the championships at all the bigger companies, like PWG, like, maybe one day. You never know. Like, you never know.
No one's doubting it. No one's doubting it.
I feel like I can do anything.
So if you had to go for the tag titles in PWG, who would be your opponent, your dream tag partner? And I know it's such a hard one because there's so many guys, but you gotta pick one guy, ride or die.
Right now it'd definitely be Trey Miguel, man. That's the homie, bro.
I would love to see that.
We've teamed before. Like a lot of people don't know, like 2017 and 18, like we were teaming, like we teamed for a good year, wrestled each other and teamed like almost every match. I felt like.
I mean, yeah, it's you guys got real chemistry. Watch PWG, you guys got real chemistry, and I love that you guys did like a unique thing with your look. You also got the red eyeliner like at that match, and you guys represented. Everyone knew who's on whose side in that sense. It was really cool to see a bunch. It's always cool to see a bunch of wrestlers from different places come together and do something awesome in the sense of what you guys did at PWG, which is always phenomenal.
100%, yeah, 100%. I just felt like Trey's always like, I remember my first match at IWA Mid-South, but the first match he's seen of mine, he was at the show. I did a dive or whatever, and he was one of the first people to tell me like, yo, when you do your dives, you gotta show them like you're hype. Like, this is your moment, bro. This is your moment. You took out everybody. It's your moment. Let them know. And from that point on, like, I don't know. He's just always been a big brother to me, and I feel like we've always taught each other stuff. So like for me, it's an honor working with him and teaming with him. So he'd definitely be my pick.
Awesome. Awesome. So now I do want to talk about your ring gear for a second because it's so badass. Literally, no one thought of it, and it's dope as hell. Talk to me about your ring gear. Talk to me about your choices. What made you come up with that style, that idea?
I felt like for me, like the idea of it, I wanted to like everybody thinks of wrestlers as people that wear tights or long tights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to do that. I like watching Rey Mysterio when I was younger. I always thought his pants were fucking awesome. So I was like, I want to do something like that. And then you see Tajiri with the flames on his pants. I'm like, I got to do something like that too. So I was always trying to get away from looking like I've done porn or some shit. You know what I mean? With the fucking bikers or the trunks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, well, I want to look like a badass. I want to help bring people that think wrestling's funny or a joke. I want to help them like it. Like, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or be like, I want to be like him. Like, he looks actually cool. It looks like I can do this shit. Like, I feel like that me wearing the gear I wear, like, it's definitely bigger than just looking cool, but definitely was to look cool. You know what I mean?
All right. No, I get it. So yeah. What's the next, we just saw a brand new, and I know it's a vague question, we just saw a new ring gear debuted at Fightland, but what's next? What's on your mind away from next? I know you got the matching hair, which is something that's always badass, but tell me about, like, what would be your next choice of color? If you have
Interesting. Bro, I've already got a new set coming on the way. It's like, I don't know if I want to tell you, but it's like black, blue, and some other colors. I'm not gonna say nothing.
All right.
I think we're gonna try the blue flames, man.
Oh, okay. We got the red flames. Back then there was the fire. People, you had the red jacket. It was more like the firefight. I like how you influence that too. It's pretty cool that you like always influence the idea, the style through the jacket that you wear, the pants. It's really cool how you do that.
I really appreciate it, man. I just honestly I feel like I said, when you come up watching wrestling, like for me, it was the look,
mm-hmm.
the look, and selling fights, bro. So like, I feel like I'm getting down with the look and the moves. I'm just trying to complete the whole package and get the selling fights thing down too. Like get it all together. So when it comes time, like I'm ready. I want to be undeniable.
Yeah, you definitely will be, and it's definitely shown through the gear, through everything, through your attitude. Definitely there. Talk to me about your first ladder match, because someone like you, people would always want to see ladder match. Tell me about like the first one you ever had, and what went into that match.
Shit, man. I think the matches I may have had was probably IWA Mid-South, man. Like, I felt like I was doing, we had like an opportunity in a box, it was like the briefcase or whatever, and I felt like I was in a ladder match like probably like once a month. But honestly, going into those matches, it's pretty much the same as a normal match, except for the fact of the ladder. So, you know, you just got to go into those matches knowing that you're going to get beat up a little more than a normal match, and hopefully you're getting paid a little more than you would get paid in a normal match. But you know that's how it goes. But like that, it was definitely, I was definitely nervous. But like I felt like I've done matches like that when I was backyarding and stuff like that. So like every time I've been faced with something like that, I've been in those situations as far as like the type of matches and stuff like that. So definitely.
Awesome. I'm talking about the backyard days. You know, that's definitely how many people, you know, the day ones, that's when they saw you. That's how they, figured you out. You know, how did that work? How did the backyard wrestling, you know, really work? What was your, mental state going into those matches, and just, did you feel like you get out of there? Did you feel like you definitely get out of there, or did it feel kind of like, it's been a long, journey to get to where you are now? What's the mental state going into those kind of matches?
Well, bro, like when I was backyarding at first, like it was just so fun to me. But I started to see all my peers that were doing that were like a step ahead of me, like guys like Fuego del Sol and stuff. But they were going pro, getting trained. So I was like, you know what? It's time for me to do the same. Like I feel like these guys can't do fucking better than me. I gotta, you know what I mean? When I was just like, they're doing this, it's my turn to fucking go to do it. Like that was my mindset, and I'm glad that I chose that mindset. So like, learned a lot from all of it, bro.
Of course, and I think the closest thing to backyard wrestling, and I think they do it on purpose, is GCW. And what's your take on that? What's your take on a company that basically takes backyard wrestlers and gives them the stage where there's an audience for it? How do you feel about that, and the idea of it?
I feel like it's honestly, it's really cool. Like, I mean, hopefully, you think like, I feel like a lot of guys go from the yard to wrestling. It's just people have different ways of, some people get trained, some people don't. Like, I don't know what they're doing over there, though. I don't know how they do that, but I know that their backyard shows are fucking awesome. So,
would you ever be interested to participate?
For sure. I was a backyarder, for sure.
All right, awesome. And yeah, as you know, we're dying down to the interview. A few more things I want to talk about is just, the mental state for MLW. Tajiri's definitely got a target on his back now with you, with what he did and how it happened. So it's the question where, are you going to be patient about it? Are you going to wait for him to make the first move, or are you just going to make some noise and get back with yours? That's the question.
I feel like in that match, he's seen what I had coming. So I feel like he might watch this and know what I got planned if I tell you. But just know that I'm going to get my belt back eventually.
Yeah, 100%. And, talk to me about, one last thing. It's what's next. After you get back your belt, you talked about, the main title, which, every title is the main title, but, you want to go for the, the main one. So talk to me a bit about, what's your goal after winning that title? What are you gonna do that Jacob Patu, Alexander Hammerstone, they didn't do in a sense?
First, I've already won the middleweight championship. I feel like for me, it's something to be MLW heavyweight champion and not be a heavyweight.
I like it. Yeah. No,
already.
It's another thing to show why you're the young go. You know what I mean? And that's literally another reason. I got it.
Yep.
All right, and the last thing I do want to talk about is if you have any advice, any amazing quote or anything that someone that's listening to this that is a huge fan of yours, also following professional wrestling. I'm sure you've had many stories of fans come up to you, tell you that they're also following their dreams. What's like your biggest kind of quote that you would give, or just a lesson that you learned in general?
Bro, I feel like on that topic, I feel like I can talk all day, but like it's like 2 or 3 of the biggest things for me that really stick with me is believing in yourself, because that's super huge. People say it a lot, and it's just like, whatever, believe in myself, but that's like the key. Believing in yourself. You are the key. The second one would be, you know, just work as hard as you possibly can work. Hard work pays off. Like, if you're not working as hard, you know you can work harder, and you're not getting things that you want, work harder, because you're not going to get them. You gotta work harder. You gotta work, and you like, that's, for me, it's just trying to work harder than everybody. Like, just be the hardest worker in the room. The third one though, believe in yourself, work hard, and shit, I don't even know, man. That's really for me, that's like the 2 biggest things.
All right.
Is believing in yourself and working hard.
Last thing actually I want to mention, as you know, you were talking about it. How is it, you know, being a father, balancing, you know, wrestling and family? You know, how's that like? It's definitely a very interesting, you know, two-way street in the way. So how's that like balancing both real life and, you know, career-wise?
Shit, I got lucky, bro. I'm just, my family just, they really work with my schedule. Like they know what this is. Like they respect what I do. Like I'm thankful. Like my fiance is awesome. When I'm on the road, she's watching the kids. So all I do is wrestle. So when she goes to work, it's my turn. You know, we just work together like a team. A team makes the dream work. So like, it's like at home, it's just do what I got to do. And when I leave home, cut all that shit from home off and do what I got to do when it's never. That's why I love wrestling so much, because I get to escape wrestling with my family, and I get to escape my family because sometimes you need that with wrestling.
Awesome. And do your boys see, you know, more wrestling from you than what you want them to see? Like, when they look at you, are they always like watching your matches? Are they always asking you about, you know, some of your, you know, stuff coming up?
Well, I'm lucky right now. My oldest is 2, about to be 3, so he's starting to ask a lot of questions. But my youngest is 1, so like, I got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and my 2-year-old thinks that it's cool to fight all the time, do wrestling moves all the time.
I can already see it. You gotta give him that wrestling buddies, you know what I mean? Let him start early. That's the backyard thing.
I think I might start training him at like 4 or 5. Like, I might let him run around in the ring.
Getting a trampoline, right? I'm sure you probably already have one.
I had one. Once I started back at wrestling, I got rid of that. So like, I'm probably gonna do it again though, especially when they get older.
I got you. Well, of course, thank you so much, man. You know, thank you. Oh, you know, before I actually do any of that, where can people find you? Where can people follow you, buy your merch, any way to support you whatsoever?
I appreciate that. You know, follow me on Twitter, The Bad Reed. That, you know, backyard wrestling name. Just had to keep it. Myron Reed on Facebook, or Reed's World, Reed's.World on Instagram. I got an album dropping soon. We have an album. Me and the homie Lil Nate, we've like put a pretty dope project together, and we're dropping it at the end of the month. So stay tuned.
All right, awesome. I'll put all the information in the bio below. You know, if you drop it before the video goes up, I'll put that also in the bio. People can definitely check it out. So, you know, people will definitely get a way to support you, buy your merch, follow you. It'll be all easier. It'll be in the bio, so everyone check it out.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Of course, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for listening. See you guys next time.